and we're missing Cormac Buchanan. I hope I didn't keep him talking too long. Oh, there he is. No, Cormac's there, number one. That's right.
A couple of spaces on the front row, though. Who's missing from there?
Why is he not?
Good start there from Cormac. Look at those bigger bikes just blast past him. So on the run down to the straight, push back maybe to 8th or 9th position even.
Now, just as you correctly pointed out earlier, Ian, in the last race, Cormac's riding a 300cc and he's riding against SV650 Yamahas, Yamaha MT-03s, KTM 390s, Aprilia 600s. Yep, he's riding against an awful lot of bigger bikes. So while Cormac may not be leading the race in his category, in the size of bike that he's riding, he's been in front of all of the other 300s. Now you can expect a 600 or 660cc MV to be a bit faster than a 300 Yamaha by quite some way, but Cormac is again proving his credibility and holding his own as the first of the 300s by quite some way. So again, not really a surprise knowing his calibre, but yeah, just worth pointing out that whilst he's not actually winning, he's still leading his class.
Absolutely, and leading it by a convincing margin too.
Yeah.
That looks like Johnny Lewis maybe making it out to the front on the new Aprilia RS660.
660, yeah.
So that's a new bike to racing in New Zealand. Was launched in New Zealand hopefully to run in the Pro Twins class, but some technical ineligibilities have made that not practical this year. They are looking at changing that for next year perhaps. But there's Johnny Lewis crossing the line with a good margin.
So Johnny Lewis, Richard Markham Barrett, Heath Bottiker, Kane Squire, Liam Hum and Cormac Buchanan in 6th place on the first of the 300s.
So the two bikes in front of Cormac Buchanan are actually Yamaha R6s that have had one cylinder disabled. They're now running a 3-cylinder 450 on those bikes.
Yeah. They get the advantage of the handling and the frame geometry of the 600, but with one cylinder knocked out. I think they basically hole a piston and take out
the fuel injector, disable the fuel injector.
Firing, so there is no compression. So, but because the piston's still there, it keeps the bike balanced, so it doesn't vibrate too badly. But yeah, that's quite a common. Chris Huddlestone does the same thing with his 450. So we've got out front, I'll give you the names of the bikes. We've got we've got a RS Aprilia 660, we've got a KTM 600, a Ducati 600, two 450 Yamahas, and then in 6th place, Cormac Buchanan on his 300.
That's right, and then following him there's an SV650 and then a Ducati Monster 690.
That's right, and then we've got another 300 in the hands of Tyrone Kuipers.
That's right, and then Madison Berry on a Honda RS125, a genuine Grand Prix bike from the olden days of two-stroke Grand Prix 125s. Then Joshua Double on an SV650. Now Joshua had a very heavy accident late last year, suffered a major concussion, so this is really his first major race meeting back, so it's good to see him up there doing the business in 11th place, so that's a good move from Joshua Double.
So 4 laps to go, shorter races this time as we're not competing for a GP title.
So Johnny Lewis still holding a good lead over Richard Markham Barrett with Heath Bottiker in 3rd place. Let's see how the braking goes into the hairpin.
Just a note about Heath Bottiker. A lot of the riders have given me a little bit of information about themselves so I can read it out. One of the questions was, what's been your racing highlight? Heath Bottiker's response was visiting a strip club in Invercargill.
Yeah, I could believe that from Heath, to be fair. Top quality rider in the Bears field, no doubt, one of the front runners in Bears Formula 1, and doing extremely well here with his Ducati in the Superbike class as well, running in the top 5 most of the weekend, so that's good effort from Heath, and riding multiple classes, very, very hard work. All these guys are super, super fit, and there's Johnny Lewis just making the pass back again on Richard Markham Barrett into the right-hander. So very good racing between the front two, and then a little gap back to 3rd and 4th. So good close dicing there as well. And it looks like Kane Squire's actually got ahead of Heath Boddicker there.
I didn't even know there was a strip club in Invercargill.
Couldn't tell you, Phil, I don't go to them. So here we go back down onto the straight. Now it's Johnny Lewis on the Aprilia RS660. He's got a couple of good bike lengths, but oh, look at the slipstream effect there. Amazing effect of the slipstream there. So that's Richard Markham Barrett taking the lead from Johnny Lewis. Now let's see if he can break away. He's got 2 laps to do.
Where's he going? Oh. No, that's right. Looking at the wrong guy.
So as we dip down through Pothole, it's Richard Markham Barrett leading by 3 or 4 bike lengths ahead of Johnny Lewis. Let's see if Johnny can close the gap into the hairpin there. Nice deep late braking by both of them. No opportunity there for Johnny to close the gap. A nice little run into the right-hander by both riders. And it looks like Kane Squire's pulling a little bit of a gap on Heath Boddicker. He's got 6 bike lengths maybe. He's trying to break away to make sure he consolidates that 3rd place. And good run up into the right-hander for Johnny, but not able to get through. Making a lunge for the first of the left-handers. Very, very tight to get a pass through there. You have to be right alongside the rider to make that pass stick. So he'll be looking for a good run through onto the sweeper, onto the straight, and hopefully he can pick up some draft, because I think we should be coming up to the white flag lap.
So there's 3 laps to go.
Oh, sorry, 3 laps to go. Two laps after they cross the line here. So Richard Markham Barrett's pulled out a bit of a gap there. He's got a couple of seconds lead over Johnny Lewis and Kane Squire. Heath Boddicker running in 4th. Is this Liam Hum going to be coming through in 5th position? That's a good ride for Liam, closely followed by Cormac Buchanan. So Liam will be feeling pretty proud of himself, being able to keep ahead of young Cormac Buchanan, who's heading off to the Red Bull Rookies next year. There is a bit of a bike advantage there for Liam, but to be honest, he's riding very, very well to hold Cormac at bay.
So Cormac Buchanan's fastest lap so far is 1:43.6. Richard Markham Barrett's best lap 1:39.4. So even though he's on a bike more than twice the size, he's only going 4 seconds a lap quicker, which says something about Cormac or Richard Markham Barrett.
I think it says something about both of them, to be honest. Richard Markham Barrett's putting in a fantastic time for a New Zealand rider in a New Zealand class. To be fair, Cormac Buchanan's got stacks of experience now from racing overseas. I think they're both riding exceptionally well. And here we come. The leaders are coming back round onto the sweeper. So they're going to catch a back marker, but probably towards the end of the straight. So it should all be quite fine down there. And Kane Squire's pulled out a substantial gap for 3rd place now over Heath Boddicker. And here we come. Here goes Richard Markham Barrett past the back marker, nice and tidy. Johnny Lewis, same deal, nice and tidy through there. The back marker doing a good job of just staying out of the way but holding their own line, running their consistent pace. That's all the front runners ask of a back marker, is not to make any sudden moves, not to disrupt their rhythm.
Right, white flag's our last lap.
So Richard Markham Barrett, good lead now into the hairpin. Another back marker to contend with on this lap though. Maybe that might play into it depending on where they catch them. And they're going to catch them into the infield complex. And that has held up Richard Markham Barrett. Hopefully they can both get through cleanly. Yes, Johnny's gone round the outside as well, so nice clean move there. Can't blame the back marker for that, for holding up Richard Markham Barrett. He was on his line and making the apex nicely. Richard had every opportunity to choose his line. So here we go, the last run down towards the dipper. Johnny will have to be very, very accurate. He's running a slightly different line, maybe looking for a bit better drive. He's going to have to leave it all out on the line coming through the sweeper if he wants this one. So here we go, working our way onto the straight now. Richard Markham-Barrett with a 5 or 6 bike length lead. And he's going to take this one with 4 or 5 seconds to spare. Congratulations to Richard, great ride. Also to Johnny Lewis, very well ridden. Good Dice coming through for third. And it is Kane Squire for third, with Heath Boddicker running in 4th place on the Ducati. And Liam Hum in 5th place. Congratulations, Liam. That's a great ride for you. Finishing ahead of Cormac Buchanan. That'll be something that Liam and his father can brag about for many a year to come, I'm sure. So good racing out there today. A slightly depleted field from yesterday. I think yesterday we started within somewhere in the order of 35 odd bikes in this class. Very difficult class though, lots of young learning riders, and I'm sure riding fitness has taken its toll on some of the competitors. But great to see so many people out here racing this weekend.